Hi folks, strategy in marketing channels is very important topic, and in this topic we will be discussing how any business may flourish, may have a competitive advantage, may have a unique selling point. You see, distribution strategy can never be copied. No competitor can achieve your strategy, can achieve the place you have been while following this strategy. So, being a channel manager, you have a competitive edge if you are following a strategy. If you are if you have been in the market for 20 years or so, so you have a additive advantage and no one can copy that. Like for example, marketing strategy may have copied to a greater extent, okay, and other strategies may have copied. But channel strategy cannot be copied. Why? Because it requires the evolution. Actually, it requires an evolutionary period. So no new company can compete you with that. Let's learn about the channel strategy. So you see on this slide, channel strategy, the broad principles by which the firm expects to achieve its distribution objectives for its target market. So the principles by which the firms expect to achieve. So let's talk about the principles. The principles are different for different companies. We will be discussing the different principles many multinational companies are following after this slide. Let's see over here where my pointer is distribution decisions, the role of distribution in overall objective and strategy. The first distribution decision which will be impacted with your channel strategy is the defining the role of distribution in overall objective and strategy. So this will be impacted with your channel strategy. The role of distribution in marketing mix will be impacted with your channel strategy. The designing of marketing channels, like selecting the channel members, target markets and channel design strategy, like you are using electronic marketing channels. So how you have designed your marketing channels will be impacted with your channel strategy. Selecting channel members, very important. We'll be discussing in this in my other lecture, that how do you select your channel member. It kind of dependent on the designing marketing channels. You see, they are interdependent. The selecting channel members is dependent on your designing, and designing is dependent on the marketing mix, and the marketing mix is dependent on the overall distribution objectives and strategy. So you see over here, managing the channel is highly dependent that how you have designed your channels, how you have selected your member, and that's how you motivate the channel members. You face the product pricing promotion issues, and you manage your logistics accordingly. Lastly, you need to evaluate your channel member, because evaluation is very important. The feedback improves the distribution setup, the channel member performance. This is very critical, and it must be quarterly, yearly, or as per your need. Let's move ahead. The higher the priority given to distribution, the higher the level at which it should be considered in formulating the organization's overall objectives and strategies. So what does it mean? It means if the CEO of the company, the directors of the company have a high priority given to the distribution, so the distribution would be included in company's overall objective and strategies. Like Dell Computers, their channel strategy really impacted their business, and because of that they stood up in the competition. Like BMW also stood up in the competition. They are distinct in the competition because of their distribution strategy. Amazon, you see, they have gone to the electronics channel all the way just to. So you see, Amazon had a distinct advantage of being in the industry as an electronic marketing channel, and they flourished in a great manner. The Apple computers also had multiple channels, and they really flourished. The
Okay, let's
Edward
discuss this
Jones, you
very
see,
important
the
image.
Edward
You
Jones
see,
is
there are
also
different
a service
levels.
industry, and they really
There are different levels. First level is
given
the
the high
corporate level, the
priority
second is the business
to
level,
the
third is the
distribution,
functional departments.
like the
So you
Prava
see, at the
Corporation, the
different
Procter and
levels,
Gamble, specifically
these
how
cycles
they managed
behave
to
differently.
improve their distribution, for example, and because of that they were
The
distinct
when
in
the
the
cycle
competitors, among the
starts,
competitors.
the
We'll be discussing in detail about them
when the
in a while.
cycle starts,
The communication of the corporate guidelines and the initiatives and the thinking behind the business, it delivers to the business level. And when it is delivered to the business level, you see, when the cycle one starts, the at the corporate level, the top management creates initial ideas for long term goals and the mission of the company. So you see, the mission and the long term goals are developed by the senior management, and it is communicated to the business level, so that these goals and guidelines are communicated to down the line, that who is then start defining their own mission to align with corporate vision. So you see, every business and every function of the company has to define their own mission, defining their own mission, and it must be aligned with the corporate vision. It must be aligned with the business vision. Okay, so the business vision has to be business mission has objective has to be aligned with the corporate guidelines, and the functional department mission and objective has to be aligned with the business guidelines. So you see, guidelines are the inputs given by the senior management, so that everyone is aligned on the same goal. That's how the different at different levels, different alternatives are developed. So when the alternatives are developed, you see, it is given to the senior levels, and the senior level decide from that which is suitable for the organization. And you see, these final mission of the business and the functions are given by the corporate level, down the line. And when it is given, so the functional strategies is developed. Then you see where my pointer is. Over here the functional strategies are developed. So when the functional strategies are developed, it must be integrated with the other functional strategies. So all the functional strategies has to be communicated to the business. And when it is communicated, its long range plan has to be developed by the corporate level, and the long term plan is developed and communicated to down the line. So long range business plan is communicated down the line, and when it is communicated down the line, the budget is created by the functional departments, by the businesses, and given to the senior management. That's how the 1 year plan and budget are finalized. So the planning and execution go hand in hand, and they are interlinked with each other. So every level of the organization works along with each other so that they come up with the integrated 1 year plan and budget. You see, the plan and the budget cannot be given indiscriminately without validating that it is aligned with the corporate guidelines, aligned with the corporate mission and objectives. It is aligned with the other functional strategies, other business strategies. So you see, they are integrated, they are aligned, they must be in one. Likewise, you see the cycle 2, I already discussed. In the cycle 2, what is happening? The company chooses from the alternative development cycle 1. So, cycle 1, whatever communicated through cycle 1, the cycle 2 starts with the choice of the final strategy uh, proposed by the program and functional departments. Why do we do that? We want ownership from all of the levels. You see, the work must be done by the ground workers. Okay, functional department heads are not the ground workers, but still they are very close to the business. As close they are with the business, they are more practical at developing the budget and the 1 year plan. So basically, guidelines are given by the top level, corporate level, and the business level, but the work has to be done by the functional level. The integration and the suggestion and the appreciation has to be done at the business level and at the corporate level. So let's move ahead. It is the last slide about it. So you see, the annual plan and budget is, in essence, this process moves from high level strategic goals down to specific actionable plans and budgets across all levels, ensuring everyone in the organization is aligned. I already mentioned the alignment is very much important, and alignment can only be done when few inputs are given by the top management and the large input is given by the ground level workers, by the lower management, or by the functional heads. When it is done, the ownership comes and the strategic goals is aligned with the actionable plans. So you see, actionable plans and budget must be given by the functional heads, because you cannot force. You cannot enforce any of your plan, any of your budget until it is agreed upon by the functional heads. Let's move ahead. If a firm's top management believes that distribution strategy is a core part of its corporate strategy for achieving its long-term goals, a high priority and a strong focus on distribution strategy become logical imperative. You see, we discuss about a lot of companies, Apple, Amazon, and others. The distribution strategy is the top management belief, and they say that distribution strategy is core part of corporate strategy. If it is not core part of the corporate strategy, then at the business level, it will not be part of the business level strategy. And if it is not at the business level strategy, then how come it will be part of the long term goals and the yearly budget plan, actionable plan can be made. So let's talk about the Amazon. Use a single online channel strategy rather than a multi-channel strategy that is giving customers extraordinary customer experience. So you see that was their strategy. Use a single channel and you believe me that a single channel really impacted them, impacted their customers a great deal, and it made them distinctive among their competitors. Let's talk about the Apple to develop its own company owned to develop its company owned retail store channel played crucial role in improving their business, because when you come up with the company owned retail store channel, you basically show the branding of your product. So marketing mix really impacted with this distribution strategy, because you give your customers a high brand positioning that you are one of the top company in the world, because not many companies are providing the company owned retail store channel, which are which are made in a very distinctive manner that it can be recognized across the city, across the state, across the province. Let's talk about the Edward Jones. More than 10,000 physical brokerage offices blanketing the US. You see how Edward Jones capitalized the distribution strategy and made it a core part of its corporate strategy for achieving its long term goals. So they strongly focus on the distribution strategy, and they really improve their revenue and improve the image of the company. Let's talk about the Hewlett Packard. If we fail to manage the distribution of our products and services properly, our revenue, gross margin, profitability could be lower. So it is the mindset of the corporate level people. These are the this is the statement that if we fail to manage the distribution of our products and services properly, so it means we will fail the sales of our product, and when we will be failed in improving the sales of our product, the profitability definitely be greatly affected. And if the profitability is affected, so what does it mean? It means your margin will not be impacted as it was before. So let's talk about the Havoc Corporation. Battery technology is equal among the major brands, so developing a channel strategy that will gain shelf space and thus reach larger numbers of consumers in the US and abroad has become a top priority. So you see, battery technology, it is very difficult to flourish in this industry, very competitive. It, companies has deep penetration, So developing a channel strategy that will gain shelf space, the good inventory in any retail outlet is really tough. And this company basically made it their top priority. Because of that, their sales improved, their profitability improved. Let's talk about the WD-40. Broadest possible retail distribution channels reach increased. So what did they do? They made their product available on the broadest possible retail distribution channels. Broadest means retail channel of any kind. So when it is available on most of the retail outlets, it was very feasible for any customer to purchase, and it became indispensable. Let's talk about the P&G, the strategic alliance with Walmart and Sam's Club through a dedicated team to facilitate the 10% sales of total US P&G sales. So you see, this strategic alliance is not possible with the retail giants without a corporate level strategy, without a business level strategy, without a functional level strategy. So we discuss multiple companies, and all companies has really strategized the channel in their corporate level, business level, functional level. That's why they flourished. Let